Let's run to the safety of truth. And that is
Truth.
Yeshua.
The truth of
That's
Yeshua.
right.
We got some more truth to share with you
Yes,
today.
we do.
And you know how much we like truth, right?
Hmm.
Well, today we have a video that we're going to call What Makes Demons Tremble?
Yes, and truth will definitely make them tremble.
I think the truth will make demons
Yes.
tremble.
Hmm.
I think that is definitely one of our tactics of warfare,
Yes, is truth for
is
sure.
truth, because truth, when it comes out, the darkness has to run away.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because how do you fight against truth?
You can't because you know the truth.
Exactly. And the truth shall set you free.
That's right.
I think that's great,
It
right?
is great. It's absolutely great. And it's the foundation for all of our learning. Yeshua brought us the truth. And then from
Hmm.
truth, he can teach us things.
Hmm.
And that opened our eyes a lot faster. We make a lot more progress when we actually
Hmm.
know the truth. Because if you believe a lie, you're subject to the lie and
And the curse.
yeah, and the curse.
So open your minds for this video. Open your minds to the possibility that we might just be right.
Well, we proved that.
And look into the truth, right? Look into the truth and try to find truth for yourself.
Yes, yes.
And so, we have our Demon Slayer series that we're doing
Hmm.
in addition to all the other things that we're doing.
Yeah.
But this is a great new addition to our Demon Slayer series. What we've decided to do is take the perspective of what do the witches and warlocks and the demons think when they run into a real believer?
Yes.
And, because people always want to talk about how to cast out a demon or what demons look like or what their names are and all those things. But what makes the demons tremble?
Yeah, what does?
Because that is actually super
It
fascinating.
is absolutely fascinating.
Because I've been to a few deliverance services and I've been the one laughing.
You told me some of those stories. It's pretty funny.
And you're just watching this and you're like, dude, that cannot make sense.
Yeah.
I don't know how.
The Bible on the spine.
Right? That's like, it's one of the funniest stories when I watch these people trying to, I'm pretty sure I told it in a prior
Mhm.
testimony, but it was just so funny when I watched these people trying to cast a demon out of this person. And one of the ones that are trying to do the deliverance takes a Bible and runs the Bible down the spine of the person that was manifesting a demon. And the head of the possessed person literally turned around and cackled at the person behind them and said, "You think that's gonna work?"
No, I gotta say, kind of sucks to be cackled at by a demon. And I got my fair share when I didn't have enough truth about who we are in Yeshua. And
Right?
I got cackled at.
It's not fun to be cackled
No,
at.
it's not fun to be cackled at.
I definitely feel for the person that was standing there being laughed at.
Yeah.
For sure, I feel for that person.
Yep.
The thing that I find fascinating about the story is that the person didn't have enough truth.
Mm,
That
yeah.
person thought that the book, like the books behind us, that the Bible itself was the power.
Yeah.
Well, that's the problem, is you're using a spellcasting book in order to kick out a
That's not going to work very good.
demon. Okay. All right, let me explain my joke, right?
Yes.
Because if you've watched some of our videos, you understand that we definitely believe in Yahweh. There's
Mhm.
no question whatsoever that we believe in Yahweh. But we also know that the enemy is nefarious and he likes to do nasty things,
Mhm.
and he's going to play with our playbook.
Yeah, and you can actually prove this for yourself.
Yes.
Get a Strong's and a Bible and start
Hmm.
looking at the words in the Strong's, all of them.
Yes. Yes.
Just start. We started in, I think it was Matthew. Would we do Matthew or John?
We didn't start in John because
Okay.
we've been jumping around a lot.
Yeah, but we started in various scriptures, and when you actually go through the Strong's for the whole scripture,
Hmm.
sometimes you get a whole different meaning of
Yes.
the scripture.
Absolutely. You get a whole different meaning because the enemy has to tell you the truth within their lie.
They do. Mm-hmm.
And sometimes they just flat out lie.
Yeah.
But when you listen to enough of the lie, you find the truth.
Mm. Yeah.
And that's what you can find in the Bibles is Yahweh told his people truth.
Mm.
The original letters were written down as truth. But what's been done to them since in the translations and different languages has not been 100% truth.
Yes, but because of Yahweh's rules for this realm, they have to tell us the truth amongst the lie. So if they don't tell us the truth amongst the lie, then they're going to be persecuted for not telling us, at least giving us an out. And you see this in predictive programming with movies. They have to get you to buy into what they're going to do to you. Otherwise, Yahweh will stop it. But if you agree to it, and it's the foundation for a lot of the attacks that we get is agreement. If you agree with the evil ones, then you're going to get more evil.
Yes.
So you have to stand against it.
Right.
If you've watched the previous series, you understand how we stood against the hospitality temple. And in a manner of what speaking, this is very similar to that because we have to have truth. We have to understand where we are, who we are, and this realm to understand how we can utilize this realm.
Yeah, absolutely. That's so true. Watch our series, Choose Life, Not Death.
Yeah.
And you will hear so many things about this. And just to show you that we're not the only one saying this, we watched a video that was put out by someone who used to be a witch and has now converted to believe in Yeshua. And did a video to testify of what kind of things as a witch that she would encounter that made her tremble.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to share who it was because I don't know anything about the person or their channel or anything like that, and we're not trying to promote someone we don't know anything about. But the fascinating thing to me was that in every testimony that people share, you find the truth. And that was their experience. And you can take experiences and you can line them up with the Bible and you can see how truth is actually involved in their testimonies that they're giving.
Yeah.
And if you can't find truth in the scripture to go along with what they're saying, then they're probably lying.
Yeah. It's true.
So the important part isn't who gave the testimony. The important part is about what the testimony shared with us and what we were able to glean out of that testimony so that we could understand what kind of things the devils are trying to do. Because you have to remember that witches and warlocks operate under the power of a demon.
And they know all the rules in the Bible. They know the Bible very well. In fact, even the Masons use the 1611 King James Bible as their playbook for their
And
witchcraft.
that's pretty scary.
It's very scary.
Yeah.
So they know these rules. The problem is we don't always know these rules because we don't do our due diligence to study and read the truth that's hidden in the Bible.
Because we've been lied to for so long.
Yes.
We've been lied to by people that we think know what they're talking about.
Yeah.
And they've told us that the scripture that we have is perfect exactly the way it is and hasn't been tampered with. And it is the inspired word of Yahweh.
But in amongst itself, even the inspired, spire is the satanic spire, and in means no. So either they're saying they're poking the Bible with their Satanism, or there's no spirit in the Bible. I don't know which, but
which would be no breath.
Yes.
Or maybe it means they inserted a spirit in the Bible.
This could be. I mean, Jesus and random God and Yahovah are all, and Abba are all idols.
Yes. They are not the actual names of who our creator actually is.
Yes, that's right.
And we've got other videos on that, so we're not going to go into deep detail on that right now. But one scripture I want to start out with is James 2:19. And we took and we looked at the Strongs for James 2:19. And it wasn't too bad. It actually was pretty close. But it's a little more fun when we put the right words in there.
A lot more fun.
So, James 2:19. You, brethren, fully trust that there is one Yahweh. You, brethren, do well. The demonic beings also fully trust and tremble and shudder in fear. That's
That is
spectacular to
spectacular.
me.
They shudder in fear.
They shudder in
That was the
fear.
part they left out of the Bible.
And I think that was definitely worth
Yep.
putting back in,
Yes, yes, it is.
right?
Hmm.
Because if we understand that these demonic beings, demons, evil spirits, these wicked things actually shudder in fear when they encounter someone who fully trusts in Yahweh.
Yeah. Mm.
You can't get better than
You
that.
can't.
Like that it's telling you that there is something that scares the demons.
Yeah.
And his name is Yeshua HaMashiach,
The truth.
the truth. And if you see him in person, there's a testimony I already did on seeing him in person, and you will realize why you would tremble. Right? You should definitely tremble in fear. If you are not in relationship with Yeshua HaMashiach, you should tremble because he's terrifying. Warrior Yeshua is not the one who was impaled, is not the baby that was born in a manger, is the one who rose from the dead as Yeshua HaMashiach,
Yeah.
the one
As
who's our
king.
true deliverer.
Yep.
Yes, the sovereign of sovereigns, right?
Hmm.
And he conquered the devil. He defeated him, drug him through the streets, and made a show of him.
Yeah.
And you can't tell me those minions of his didn't see it. They know he's
Oh,
scary.
they know he's scary.
Okay, so let's get into what we wanted to talk about because I'm trying not to make this too long, but you know how we are. We love to talk.
Yes. Hmm.
So when we were watching this video from this ex-witch, this person was saying that there are 5 types of believers that witches are afraid of. And I was like, well, that's super fascinating to identify types of believers. And what would happen? Put this thought in your mind. What would happen if you had all 5 characteristics?
You'd be unstoppable.
Right?
Yes.
That's
Because you know who
exactly
you
true.
are and who lives in you and the power that, and authority that he gave us.
So with Yeshua in you, you have the ability to stop all of the warfare of the enemy.
Yeah.
Luke 10:19, we quote it all the time, right? Matthew 28:18 and 19 tell us that we have the same authority as Yeshua. Luke 10:19 tells us that we have that authority to use over all the demonic powers, all
Yes.
evil, wicked
Hmm.
things, right? All authority and nothing by any means shall hurt you.
Hmm.
So if we just looked at those 2 scriptures, we would know we could be unstoppable.
Yeah.
The first thing that this person said in the video was real relationship. The first type of believer that witches are afraid of is someone with real relationship. Meaning what this person said was the believer's inner altar never stops burning, which would mean that their relationship with Yeshua is on the forefront of all of their activities. Their prayers are burning like a fire day and night. And I was like, that's awesome.
That is awesome.
That means they know exactly who they are. They are in connection with Yeshua. They are talking to Yeshua all the time.
Yeah.
And fulfilling that scripture that Paul said is never cease to be praying.
Hmm.
Right? And so then this person went on to say that the ones that have a fire, Yah's breath, within them that never went out. Well, that's 2 Timothy 1:6. The ones that have this fire burning within them look like a raging inferno in the spirit realm.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah, that's wow. That's like you're looking like Yahweh because he's a raging inferno.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So when you have a relationship with Yeshua, you look like an inferno. You look like a fire that is like a bonfire. That's spectacular.
Yeah.
Like, we got to know what we look like in the spirit realm because what the demons and evil, wicked things are seeing, what the fallen messengers and the messengers of light are looking at is not your mortal body.
Yeah.
They see you in the spirit realm, in the unseen world that you don't see most of the time. You should know what you look like.
Mm,
You definitely want to know what you look like because it will help you to understand how to move forward and what to do and what to say and what happens when you say what you're saying. Because that will make you feel like you're 10 feet tall and bulletproof.
yeah.
Right? Because if you know that you're like an inferno fire that's raging and can't be put out, man, you are not going to be afraid of those demons.
No, you're not. That reminds me of that song, "This Little Light of Mine, I'm Gonna Let It Shine."
Yeah, it's not little.
It's not little. If you have a relationship, it's an inferno. I am an inferno flaming fire with Yeshua in me, and I'm gonna let it, and it's gonna burn all these evil ones away.
That's so great.
That would be a better song than "This Little Light of Mine, I'm Gonna Let It Shine."
So these believers that have real relationship, when the witches and warlocks tried to attack them, the light would come off of the believer that was connected to Yeshua and incinerate the darkness coming from them.
It's a great visual.
That is such a great visual, right? The light would shoot out. Like the image I got in my mind was like lightning bolts coming out of you and just evaporating that darkness. And because if there's something coming off of us, then there's something coming off of the witches, right? The witches and warlocks are sending things at them. And this person said that they sent like snakes and rats and
Bats too.
bats.
They said, I think there was bats and their snakes in their dreams, right?
Yeah, we'll get to that. And so when they send these things at the believers, they're images of an animal or something, but it's in the shape of, it's like a darkness image that's being sent at them. And so the description now is that light comes off the believer and incinerates that darkness. Dude, that's so amazing.
That is great.
That just gets me super excited.
Yeah.
That your words are like lightning bolts to the evil.
Yeah.
Believers that take real communion and read scripture all the time are the ones that have the inner altar burning very brightly. This means that they have been building their relationship with Yeshua and continue to act on the word within them. So when I say real communion, what that means is communion means relationship. It's not about a piece of bread and some wine or some grape juice. It's about you're communing with Yeshua all the time. Just like what we're doing right now. We're talking to each other. We're communing with each other.
Yes.
That is communion. And so when you have that kind of relationship with Yeshua, you're partaking of Yeshua continually.
Yep.
And he's partaking of you continually. And so you're building that relationship. And that is what makes you burn brightly in the spirit realm.
Yes, for
So
sure.
that's just awesome. Totally awesome. Okay. So the second type, so the first one was real relationship, right? Second type of believer is real authority.
So that means a believer that knows who they are and who lives in them and the power that we have.
Right. They understand the dominion and authority that they've been given.
Yeah.
And that is spectacular because when you understand the dominion and authority, you can command things to be.
Yes.
And you speak out that way in a way of commanding, of a presence, not a weakness.
Yeah. Yeah. You have prayers that are commanding things, not, oh, please, Yahweh, do something for me. No, it's, this is finished. Get out.
Yes.
You know, it's a demand. It's not a ask. You're not asking for help. You're telling
the evil thing to leave.
Yes, exactly.
So this is the believer that states truth and has lined themselves up with Yahweh and Yeshua. Any believer that knows that they have dominion, authority, to tread on serpents and scorpions is a threat to darkness. Luke 10, 18, and 19, right? So this person, this ex-witch, quoted scripture. Specifically, that the believer that knows that they have the authority to tread on serpents and scorpions is a threat to darkness.
Yes.
I was like, wow, that is just so awesome. Like, it just makes you feel good when you're like, this is my favorite verse. And they quoted it and said that this is the verse that scares them. Oh, that was pretty great.
It is great. It is
And
great.
like in all the mission work I do, I always tell people, learn this verse. No, Luke 10:19. That has to be one of your mantra verses because otherwise you'll be afraid of all kinds of things.
It's the first row open for the witches so they can do their witchcraft close. So maybe it'll work. I don't know. But if you're a believer, there's nothing they can do to harm us. There's absolutely nothing.
And that's what he's saying is he's making fun of them.
Yes.
He's saying, "Oh, you think it might work? Well, come closer. Maybe it'll work up here."
But once you know you have Yeshua in you and his dominion and authority over all these realms, everything, and then nothing these witches, demons, or fallen angels can do can even harm you.
Right. Your authority comes out in the word that you speak.
Yes.
So you speak truth all the time. You're wielding your dominion and authority with the words that you are speaking in every situation. And then that is like the sword that comes out of your mouth. The sword is the breath, Ephesians 6:17. So the word coming out of your mouth is the authority, only if it's truth.
Yes.
Right? So your word has to line up with Yahweh and Yeshua for it to be truth, for it to be sharp like a double-edged sword. And when that happens, then the kind of dominion that you take will work like lightning to obliterate the enemy. And I was like, wow.
That's spectacular. It shows you the power of Yah's breath.
Yes.
We have that power in us. So Yah's breath will come out of our mouth when we speak truth.
Absolutely. And we don't even realize how powerful that sword is that comes out of our mouth.
We don't. We have no idea.
When the truth comes out of your mouth, the words that you are speaking actually obliterate the enemy. We don't always see that in the physical, right? But the reason you're not seeing it is because you don't believe that your word has that much power behind it.
You don't. You don't. People don't. We're not taught that way in church. We're supposed to, in church, it's all about being a good Christian. And they don't really teach you how to do spiritual warfare.
It's true. That is very true. Is you go to a lot of these churches and they teach you how to be conditioned into Christianity. Right?
Yeah.
Like kindness with your words, or they don't teach you how to be
get
bold.
along, how to accept people.
Yes.
Yeah.
They teach you all those things of how to get along and accept people and try to be gentle with your words, but they do not teach you how to be bold. And I'm not saying those things are wrong, but there are times when boldness is absolutely necessary. When a demon is talking to you, you need to be able to speak like Yeshua did. And he said, "Get behind me, Satan."
Yeah. Yep.
And he was talking to one of his best friends.
Yeah.
Like when he was talking to Peter, in 1 minute he's telling him, "You're speaking from Yah directly." In the next minute he's saying, "Get behind me, Satan." That is a boldness that most believers don't have.
Yeah.
Because they don't understand the authority that's in them. They don't understand that power that's inside them.
Yeah. On a side note to that is that was before they had Yah's breath in them, before the Pentecost.
Correct.
So him speaking truth, Yeshua said he had Yahweh in him. He was speaking Yahweh's truth, even without Yahweh being in him. So truth is that powerful.
Exactly. Yeah, that's a really good point. Yeah. Okay. So to get back to our list, right? So we had number 1 is real relationship. Number 2 is real authority. Number 3 is real reverence and humility. And so I'm using the word reverence where most people would use the word honor and holiness. We don't like those words because they go back to hell. So the origin of those words ties back to the word hell, which ties back to the word Halil. And so we don't really want to give the devil any kind of reverence at all. So we're just eliminating words that would tie back to him.
Yeah.
So reverence, when you revere something, you lift it up, right? You give it all the respect, all the worship that you put in that position. And so Yahweh should be at the top of our list, right?
Absolutely.
There should be nothing above Yahweh.
Nothing.
This ex-witch said, The believer that walks in reverence of Yah and humility is dangerous. That's pretty powerful because what that means is that that person is no longer looking at sin and lies. They're
Okay.
revering Yahweh up above everything else. Lies create holes in the believer's light realm armor. So lie is another word for sin. We're told that sin is the thing we got to get rid of. Well, to get rid of sin, you got to get rid of the lies.
You absolutely do.
And because sin and lies are almost synonymous with each other. We don't really understand that all the time because it's not the way it's taught.
Yeah, we're taught that sin is a bad behavior.
Correct.
Yeah.
But why does bad behavior come? Because someone told you that it was good for you, or it was a good idea, or you thought it was a good idea, or something, some kind of influence told you to do it.
This fruit will make you wise. That right there is full of lies because it didn't make you wise. You had everything. They had everything. They had Yah's, they were in Yah's realm,
Mm-hmm.
and they had all the wisdom that he had. All they had to do was ask.
Correct. Uh-huh. So we have to get rid of the lies. And so remember, Ephesians 6:13-18 is about the armor of Yahweh.
Mm-hmm.
And when you put on that armor, you've got to close up all the holes. You want to put it on and leave it on. Don't ever take it off. I mean, don't be dumb. You're in battle. Don't take your armor off, right? But when you put the armor on, then you got to close up the holes. And we close up the holes by getting rid of our strongholds and our traditions of men and our lack of relationship with Yeshua. So the more you press in to Yeshua and you learn about Yeshua, the less holes you're going to have because it's going to tear down those strongholds or those sacred cows, and it's going to tear down those traditions, and you're going to get idolatry out of your life. When the believer allows the lies and the sins in their life, then the witches have full access to their dreams. That was a fascinating statement to me.
Yeah, and it's very interesting that they say they're dreams
Yes.
because dreams are very important.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the way that they get in because demons don't have any power over us. We have to believe a lie and come into agreement with that lie for them to affect us.
Mm-hmm.
They can poke us and make us feel things and maybe touch our stuff, but in order to actually do something to us, they need us to be in agreement with it.
Mm-hmm. And in your dreams is when you have the ability to see them and hear them.
Mm-hmm.
Most of the time when you're awake, you don't see them and hear them.
No, you don't.
There are some people who can, but most people don't see them and hear them when they're awake. But when you're sleeping, your mortal body isn't getting in the way of the spirit realm.
Yeah.
And so your consciousness can connect to what's happening. Because the real you, the breath of Yah in you, never goes to sleep. So that part of you is always awake and conscious. And so if you have lies, sins in your life, then you're opening a door to the demonic realm that they can play with you.
Mm-hmm.
And this is why it's so important to focus on Yahweh, that those things will fall away from your life.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you fall in love with Yahweh, you're not going to care about those sins, those deep, evil things. You will have no interest in doing them because you will understand that they hurt Yahweh. And they hurt the people closest to you. If you truly love Yahweh above everything else, and you truly love your neighbor as yourself, you are not going to want to do any kind of sinful things.
Yeah, that's true.
Because it will hurt them.
Yeah.
And even if it's just emotional, even if it's just with your words, you don't want to do that. You're not going to want to do it in any capacity because it will hurt you then.
Mm-hmm.
When you hurt them, it hurts you.
Yes.
What this sparked in me was of this understanding of how sin and lies open up these holes to the enemy to be able to play in your life, was that the reason is because you're not putting Yahweh above everything else. You're saying that there's something, which would be a god then, to you.
Yes. Idolatry.
which is idolatry. So you put something above Yahweh. Well, when you do that, not only do you break the commandments that Yeshua gave you in the new covenant, you also break the first 3 commandments in the old covenant.
So what does that mean? You are now in the realm of darkness, and
Right.
you can be afflicted.
It puts you back under the law. Mm-hmm. And the very first commandment in the old covenant was have no other gods above Yahweh. Mm-hmm. Exodus 20, verse 3. So when you walk in a state of humility and reverence to Yahweh, then your house is like a fortress that the witches and warlocks cannot break into. I thought that was great. This person said, it's like a fortress that witches and warlocks cannot break into. It is like a wall of fire that keeps the witches and warlocks out of your house, and they cannot penetrate the wall. The strongholds are the lies that you keep.
Yes.
Wow. So the stronghold that you want is Yah's word.
Yes.
Because when you get Yah's word in you, it becomes like a fire around your house and your stuff and yourself. That's the kind of stronghold you want.
Yes. Yeah.
You don't want the lies because look, compare it, right?
Yeah.
Whatever sin it is that you are thinking is good, your holiday tradition that you want to celebrate is something that is idolatry, and you're saying, "Oh, I want to do this thing here," right? That is so low compared to a wall of fire going around you.
It is. Absolutely.
I want the wall of fire.
I do too. I'll take that. Thank you.
When you combine the wall of fire with the lightning from the last one that I was just talking about,
not only have an offensive weapon, you got a defensive weapon.
Exactly. In your real authority, you got this lightning that's coming out like strikes, right? And then you got a wall of fire going around you. But what enemy could really get to you, right?
Yes, yeah.
And in the relationship, the first one that we talked about in real relationship, remember Psalms 91, right? It starts out with in the shelter of the shadow of the Almighty.
So you got to break down the strongholds to be in the shelter of the shadow of the Almighty. And you got to expiate sin.
Yes.
For sin and get rid of it to get into that shadow of the Almighty.
Uh-huh. And that makes a pretty big fortress.
It does.
Like, you got this amazing fortress around you that you do not have to be afraid of the enemy.
Yes, you don't.
And then, okay, so then we're going to take that and we're going to add in humility now, right? Because we talked about putting reverence to Yah above everything else, which gets rid of those holes in your armor. And then we have to look at humility. This one, some people think that humility is not their problem because they're not arrogant. They're not highfalutin. But a lot of times those people have missed the other side of humility, is because the definition of humility is the quality of having a modest view of one's value or importance. This means all of your value and importance. So if you think that you are so low and so unusable by Yahweh, you actually are taking yourself out of Yahweh's hands and saying that I'm so devalued, Yahweh can't use me. Well, that's not being humble. That's pride.
That's pride, yeah.
That is actually pride, because what you're saying is I'm so unimportant to the one who created you that, oh, no, you can't use me. It's impossible for you to use me. That's pride. Mm-hmm. And you have to get that out of your life, because Yahweh said, I've done everything through Yeshua, and I'm going to stick all of me inside of you. So I'm going to do it for you.
That's true. That's spectacular, because you don't have to do anything. You just have to agree with Yahweh.
Right. And when you agree with Yahweh and you speak Yahweh's truth, then you walk in boldness and authority. And there's nothing in and of yourself that you could do it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Right? You are definitely humble when it comes to that perspective, because you don't know how to make lightning come out of your fingers.
No idea.
You don't know how people go from being oppressed by the devil to being unoppressed by the devil. And to use the colloquial terms, you can't heal them on your own.
No.
You know that.
Mm-hmm.
And every person knows that better than anyone else.
Yeah. Yeah.
individually, right? Because you know more about yourself individually than anybody else knows about you. So
Mhm.
you are more than capable of knowing that it was not you, no matter what somebody wants to say.
Yeah, that's true.
But that is what makes you humble, is when you say, yeah, I couldn't do it, but my Yahweh can.
Yeah.
And Yahweh put all that in me, so we can do it together.
Hmm.
Because if I don't go, he can't go. If I don't extend my hand, he can't extend his hand. If I don't speak the truth, he can't do it. Because the way he set up this realm was to do all of what he wants to do through us. Look at Matthew 28:18 and 19. That's what it's telling us exactly that. So, okay, so we got our first three, right? Number four, Yahweh's word is your weapon.
That's
Okay,
pretty good.
that's pretty good. We
Yeah.
kind of already talked about this a little bit. So this won't take very long. The believer speaks the word of Yahweh Yeshua like a weapon. I love that idea.
That's basically our 1, 2, 3s, where you ask
Mhm.
the Yah's breath for a scripture. You go read the scripture and insert your problem, and then you watch and
Watch and
see the
see.
deliverance.
Yep.
That's exactly our 1, 2, 3 right there.
Yep. Because this person, this ex witch, said, Scripture spoken with truth and by the believer that has fully trusted themselves to Yeshua is unbearable to the witches, warlocks, and demons. Unbearable.
Unbearable. That's a big word. It's powerful.
And then said, declaring the scripture is like lightning striking them. I love that.
Yes.
Isaiah 54:17, no weapon formed against me will prosper. And Psalms 27, Yahweh is my light and my deliverance. Whom shall I fear?
Hmm.
This is why when you read scripture over a situation, it works
Yeah.
because you believe it's Yahweh's word. You believe Yahweh is saying these things. You know, don't read the things that the devil's saying, read the things Yahweh's saying.
Yeah. Sometimes we'll skip some Psalms where the woe is me part.
Right.
Yeah.
Because woe is not you anymore.
No.
You're on the other side of Yeshua. Yeshua already rose from the dead.
Yep.
So we now walk as more than conquerors.
Hmm.
You walk as a sovereign. Now is the time for you to walk with authority and power because it's all inside of you.
It is. Absolutely.
So we got one is real relationship, two is real authority, three is real reverence and humility, four is Yah's word is your weapon. Yahweh's word is your weapon. Then number five. Okay, so this is our last one.
Probably the most powerful one, too.
It is the most powerful
Yes,
one.
it is.
Absolutely, it's the most powerful one. And it's the one that's closest to my heart.
Charity.
Love disables the attacks. Forgiveness breaks the legal right of the demons. When when this person said this, I was like, "Oh, we got it. We got it. We
Yes.
totally get it. Like
Yes.
we can break all the attacks of the enemy."
Yep. And it's funny, the last one, forgiveness breaks the legal right of the demons. I don't know. I know people that can't forgive and they are constantly afflicted
Mhm.
over and over again. And you could, if you want to tell them, just put it out of your mind and forget about it.
Mhm.
They won't do it. They want to hold on to that. And the problem is that now becomes their God.
Mhm.
That unforgiveness becomes their God. So there's nothing Yahweh can do.
Mhm.
He has to back away because now they're turning their eyes to whatever hurt or pain, the suffering they had, which I am sure some of it's probably unbearable.
Because you're
But
revering it. You're
yes,
lifting up the pain above Yahweh.
yes, but you're putting it above Yahweh. So now the demons have a legal right to afflict you.
Mhm.
So you end up with all kinds of things. And didn't you say that somebody had that done the search and that cancer is
Mhm.
forgiveness? Usually, cancer usually comes from unforgiveness.
Uh-huh. Yeah, it was a study that was done, and I don't remember the details, so I can't quote it. But it was a study that was done where they had figured out that all cancer, every type of cancer, was driven by unforgiveness.
Well, there you go. Cancer's a demon.
Exactly. Cancer's a demon.
Proof positive.
is you have to put all of your life in Yeshua's hand.
Yes.
And if you just search the word forgiveness in the Bible, you will find a gazillion scriptures about forgiveness. There are so many scriptures about forgiveness. So I'm just going to mention a couple of them. But let's go back to love to start with love. Is love disables the attacks. And this has been my mantra for years now, is the entirety of the kingdom works by love. Galatians 5:22 and 23. If you read that correctly, and I'm just going to parse out the pieces that I want for what I'm saying, because the way it's written, a lot of times people miss it. Is it says, but the fruit of Yah's breath is love. And then it says a whole bunch of other words, right? Those are all characteristics of love. It starts with love because love is gentle, kind, long suffering. All of those words that come after the word love are characteristics of love. If you don't have love first, you can't be any of those other things. You cannot forgive if you don't have love. And then it ends with, against such there is no law. This is powerful. This is so powerful to understand. Is the law of love actually is above all the other laws.
Wow, that's pretty
All
incredible.
of them. And Yahweh said to us in 2 Timothy 1:7, for Yahweh has not given you a spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind. So when you got Yeshua on the inside of you, you got love. The perfect kind of love, the most perfect love you could ever ask for, you got on the inside of you. And that love defeats everything.
Yeah, you proved this. You hugged a demon away.
Right? And this is one of the reasons why this was so great to me when I heard this. I was like, oh yeah.
Yeah.
Love disables the attacks, right? Demons can't do anything about love because love is like this blinding light. Love washes away the darkness. There is no law above love. And you don't have to know what's going on. You don't have to know the details. You don't even have to speak the same language, apparently.
You don't.
You just love people the way Yeshua loves them, and it will chase away the darkness. Is know as you are known, right? 1 Corinthians 13. Know as you are known, and you are known through the eyes of love. The whole chapter of 1 Corinthians 13 is all about love, right? And so in this ex-witch said that the witches and warlocks could not ever resist love, that the power of love disabled the attacks of the demons. I find that spectacularly powerful.
Yeah, definitely.
That they had no ability to resist it.
Mm-hmm.
And then the one who was telling this testimony said that that was the thing that actually helped her come out of witchcraft, is someone took time to love her. A believer took time to love her and not scream and yell and do all the things that people talk about for deliverance ministry, but instead love her and then offer her forgiveness. And the forgiveness, she said, was like a blinding light that breaks out and throws the demons into confusion and removes the legal ground for the demons to be there. The believer's word of forgiveness is casting out the demons like a blinding light. And she said physical chains were breaking in the spirit realm. So when she came out of witchcraft, that's what happened to her, is someone loved on her, told her the truth, and forgave her for all of the sins that she had committed. And the chains broke off of her. The darkness flew away from her, and the demons were sent out in confusion. Like, you can't get more powerful than that.
You can't.
So this ex-witch was saying that the forgiveness was so powerful, it was like lightning, right? And these chains are breaking off of her. And the person that was ministering to her told her that she was forgiven and forgave her for everything that was done and what she did, right? So we're acting like Yeshua in that moment. And there's a scripture in John 20:23. It says, whosoever's lies or sins you forgive, they are forgiven to them. And whosoever sins or lies you retain, they are retained. John 20:23. This is super powerful for us as believers because it tells you you are speaking just like Yeshua.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't forgive their sins are retained. But if you forgive them, they're forgiven just as if Yeshua forgave them
Mm-hmm.
himself.
Yep.
And that's amazing, especially when you get the visual that this lady was giving us is in her testimony, she's giving us this visual of chains falling off of her and the demons being thrown out in confusion. Well, look, just play scripture all the time, man. That'll confuse them.
It certainly will.
Like, confuse the demons, drive them out, make them crazy because you don't want demons anywhere near your life. And maybe you can't read the scripture all day long, but if you have an electronic device that you could download the Bible app on, or get an electronic device that plays the Bible, just play it 24/7. Whether you can hear it or not hear it is not what's important. Just playing it in your living space will keep demons away because the demons can hear it.
Mm-hmm.
And you're believing it. You're believing that this will help you,
Got an unwanted house guest? Play scripture. They'll be gone quickly.
right?
Yeah. They don't
Okay.
even have to hear it.
They don't have to hear it. It does not have to be loud enough that you can audibly hear it. It just has to play and it will chase away demons. I've had conversations where I've put people on mute and I command the demon to go and the conversation ends. And I know the person on the other end could not hear me. And I just said, I'm not talking to demons today, so the demons got to go. If the person has something to say to me, then I'll listen to the person, but I'm not talking to demons. And then all of a sudden the person would be like, oh, I forgot what I was going to tell you. All right, I got to go. I'll talk to you later. And hung up the phone.
That means the person didn't want to talk to you. It means the demon did.
Exactly. That's exactly what it means, is the demon wanted to talk.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to talk to the demon because look, you can't teach a demon. You can't train a demon. You don't coach demons. You cast them out.
Yep.
You tell them to go.
Yep.
Okay, so let's recap, right? Okay, the 5 types of believers that cause the demons to tremble. 1, real relationship with Yeshua. 2, real authority. 3, real reverence and humility. 4 is Yahweh's word is your weapon. And 5, love disables the attacks and forgiveness breaks the legal right of the demons.
Wow. Wow.
Wow.
Yep.
Right? To me, this is one of the most powerful things we've done in a while for demon slayers, right? As a demon slayer series, I love this. I think that this is super powerful because you know what's great about this is you're not really doing anything.
No, you're not.
It's so simple and it's so easy, right? You're loving Yeshua, you're seeking the scriptures, you're searching the scriptures end to end, trying to understand it. You're praying, you're talking to the one that you love the most. You're focusing on love and peace and calmness and gentleness and all these things, right? You're just being a loving kin of Yahweh, kin to Yeshua, right? And the demons are running away from you because you're doing that.
That's pretty funny.
Isn't that great?
Yep.
Okay, so there's one other thing that I want to cover that this ex-witch told us about in the testimony was what their mission was, because this gives you an idea of the tactics of the enemy. Most things kind of fall into these these couple things that were listed, and we don't always recognize them. So let me read them real quick, and then I'll give you some pointers as to why I know that most things fall into these categories. The witch's mission was to infiltrate churches, scatter prayer networks, manipulate emotions, and entangle the souls with sins, deception, and distractions. So 4 things. That's a pretty simple mission, actually.
Very simple, yeah.
But
very effective.
Very effective. If people don't understand who they are, that's very effective.
Yes.
And the thing that's powerful about understanding this is now you know what kind of things witchcraft is involved in. And so when you see these things stir up in your groups of people around you, you can identify that it's witchcraft. And a lot of times people do not even know that they're being affected by witchcraft.
Yeah.
Because there is such a thing as Christian witchcraft. It means that somebody is not right with Yeshua and they're operating by a demonic influence that's affecting them.
In the soul realm.
Yep, they're operating in the soul realm, just like Peter was when he was talking to Yeshua.
Yeah, and a lot of churches operate in the soul realm because a lot of these songs are totally soulish songs. They don't bring reverence to Yahweh. They say words that are not revering at all. And they use pronouns. When you sing a song to he, him, they, them, who are you singing it to? Yeah, that's not Yahweh. We don't put Yahweh on the same level as anything else. So.
And a lot of times people, they didn't devote their life to be a witch. And they're operating with witchcraft in their words because some kind of demonic influence is talking to them.
Yeah.
And they don't know what they're doing. They don't understand because they've never been taught. So I'm not trying to accuse everybody that goes to churches as witches. What I'm saying is they're operating under the power of witchcraft because they've allowed idolatry into their life and they haven't built the strongholds that they need, the strong walls of Yeshua that they need to protect them from the witchcraft, because there are demonic influences that are continually trying to infiltrate us. And there are, those people who sold their soul, right? That are doing this because they want to. But that's not the mass majority of people that you're going to meet. So this first one, infiltrate churches. Some of the things that come to my mind right away are Hebrews 10:25 that says, don't forsake assembling together, right? That doesn't mean you have to go to church all the time. It means that you need to gather together with like-minded believers. Philippians 2:2. And not focus on the church building, but focus on building your truth with people of like mind that are talking about truth.
Yep.
So when we're centered on truth and on people that are teaching truth, then we can't be deceived by the things that are happening around us. Because when your focus is on truth, the lies will very easily present themselves because you know the truth. You don't have to know every lie. You have to know all the truth. 2 different things, right? Because if I know all the truth, then anything that doesn't line up with that, it's a lie.
Yeah.
I don't have to know all of the tactics and all the lies and all the things that the enemy wants to do. If I know Yeshua, then I can discern the difference, right? So if you're grounded in the truth of Yeshua, in the scriptures, in relationship, then the lies will be very evident in every conversation.
Yeah.
So then number 2, scatter prayer networks. This is such a powerful thing. If you've ever been a part of a prayer network, a Bible study, a small group, or whatever kind of name they want to name it, you've seen this. Because you've seen this. Because people get manipulated.
Yeah, they do.
Very easily. And it tears apart prayer networks.
Yeah.
It's very logical, right, that the witches would want to scatter the prayer networks because what did we talk about? Authority, right? And when you get 2 or more people together, then a thing is established in the realm of light and in the orderly arrangement, Matthew 18:19. The enemy does not want you agreeing on a thing because you'll establish it.
Yes, that's right.
And when you have a good prayer network, you're not just getting together reading a Bible.
Yeah.
You are creating a group of believers that are coming together and they're lifting each other up. They're helping each other. They're praying for each other. When something's going wrong in their life, they're calling their buddy and saying, hey, I need help. And then the 2 of them are coming together and praying about a situation. And then you got warriors working together. There's no way the devils want that.
No,
they do not want warriors working together.
That's why they seed so much deceit in these areas.
Because when you work together, the witches and warlocks are stopped.
Mm-hmm.
Everything that they're doing stops because they can't override a believer's authority.
Yep.
So number 3, manipulate emotions. Think about toddlers, right? Think about toddlers because this is exactly what this is
They're
about.
master manipulators. I know many people that their children manipulate them into them giving them whatever they want,
Right.
whether it be time, whether it be toys, whether it be cookies. They are masters at manipulation.
Because they don't have a filter yet that allows them to stop out the demonic influence.
Yes.
So the enemy loves to play with children
Mm-hmm.
because their emotions are right there on the surface.
Yep. They could just go by and poke them. Here
Yep.
you go. You need a cookie. You need this. Keep asking mom.
And they have no emotional control.
Mm-hmm.
They have not learned emotional control whatsoever yet. If the demons are focusing on emotions and manipulating your emotions, and you have not yourself, even as an adult, learned emotional control, the enemy can use you against yourself. Not just against other people, but against yourself, right? Because if they can get you all stirred up in your emotions are going to make you make decisions you shouldn't be making.
That's true.
And you're going to get angry, you're going to get frustrated, you're going to say something you shouldn't say, and you can't take back the words. Once it comes out of your mouth, it's done. You can't take it back. You can say something better, but you can't stop the fact that you said it. But here's something to learn. Logic overrides emotion every time. This is the greatest trick I ever learned when I was at war, was logic overrides emotion. Someone told me this because it's very emotional when you're at war. There's always something stimulating your emotions. And I was like, well, how do I get myself to stop reacting to the emotions? And this lady who'd been in the military for a long time, she told me it's really easy, is you try to do something logical. If you're not physically talking, you can count in your head because counting uses your logic brain and not your emotional brain. And so you know how like a mom will tell their child count to 10? Tell yourself count to 10. Inside your mind, and it will cause you to calm down because your logic brain is working.
Okay.
The other thing that activates your logic brain is pain. The trick I used, because sometimes you couldn't count because you're using your mouth and you have to talk, right? I would take my thumbnail and I would press it into my finger and cause pressure on my finger. And it's something I could do behind my back, down by my side. Nobody could see what I was doing. But it would cause my brain to keep thinking about why is there pressure on my finger? And if I started to get too emotional, I'd push a little harder. And then your brain's going, stop causing me pain. And I'm not saying like hurt yourself. Don't take me wrong, right? Just causing enough pressure would get your brain to get off of the emotional reaction.
Okay.
And then you don't just start crying and be hysterical in the situation.
Yeah.
There's different tactics to learn how to control your emotions. But knowing that the enemy plays with your emotions and tries to manipulate them, that means when other people get stirred up around you, you know there's probably something else that's affecting the situation.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just them. They either, one, need to learn to grow up because they have no emotional control, or there's an evil entity talking to them.
That's pretty funny.
That becomes pretty easy to deal with then, right?
Yep.
Okay, let's talk through this situation. Let's use logic and then emotion will have to go out the window. I thought that was pretty interesting that the ex-witch was saying that, is that they are trying to stir up emotions. So they intentionally start fights and they start rumors because it will stir up emotions. So when you read the scripture and it talks about don't be concerned about these other things, don't listen to rumors, don't gossip. Mm-hmm. This is why, because you're letting an enemy talk through you.
Yeah.
Okay, so the last one, entangle souls with sins, deception, and distractions. And like we talked about earlier, right, is that the lies and the sins create holes in your armor. If you got holes in your armor, it's very easy for you to be entangled and then very easy for you to be distracted. If you're distracted, then you're not paying attention to what Yahweh wants. You're not paying attention to the scripture. You're not reading the scripture because you're distracted by all the things that are happening around you. If you're distracted, you can't fight. It's just like 2 Timothy 2:4. Paul's telling the people in this letter to Timothy that they need to be good soldiers and not get entangled with the affairs of this life so that the soldier can please Yeshua who sent them. So this is really important. Because we're not fighting something physical, we don't understand that this is a tactic of the enemy that is trying to get you entangled with the affairs of life so that you won't be able to fight like a good soldier. Because when you are at war, you can't be worried about what the family's doing back home. You can't have the continual phone conversations with people back home telling you about all their problems. It will make you crazy.
Yeah.
You can't do it because when you're distracted like that, you will make a mistake because your brain will be busy worrying about your family back home and not focused on the current situation you're facing in that moment while you're at war. And you could end up dead, or a bunch of people around you could end up dead because you're distracted. And that's the same thing in this spiritual realm battle that we're fighting. We're fighting an enemy that is trying to keep us distracted so that we won't fight correctly. And when we don't fight correctly, the enemy gets the ground. They get to take things from us because we're not focused on the fight. We're focused on the distractions.
Yeah. That reminds me of all the stories about pastors that get involved in adultery and that destroys their ministry.
Because they allowed a door to stay open in their life.
Yeah.
And when you allow a hole in your armor, that's an area where an enemy can attack you. And eventually that hole will get bigger if you keep poking at it.
Yeah.
You can be forgiven for anything, right? Because remember, all these are tactics of the enemy, but Yeshua can reach you anywhere you're at and reach in and pull you out. So all you got to do is turn around and give your life to Yeshua. Actually expiate sin.
Yeah.
Kick sin out of your life, kick the lies out of your life, turn your face to Yeshua and say, please forgive me for my stupidity.
Yes.
And then go after that, right?
Yep.
Go after relationship with Yeshua. Don't try to keep playing with the devil. Let that go and focus on loving Yeshua, and then your desire for that thing will go away. It'll completely dissolve. The last thing that I wanted to cover is how to fight against the witches and warlocks. Because we told you about some of the things that they do, and we told you about the kind of believers that terrify them and cause them to tremble, which is amazing because I love making demons tremble. But how do we make them actually go away? Because you don't want them just to tremble, you want them to run away.
And never return.
And never return, right? And so the number one thing on my list is build your relationship with Yeshua. Number one, build your relationship. You know our 1, 2, 3s that we talk about is relationship, strongholds, and traditions of men. Those are the 3 things that we talk about that keep you away from receiving results. Well, that's the same here. That's part of how you fight. Relationship first. Remove the strongholds in your mind that say that you can do something that you shouldn't be doing, and then take your traditions away. Take away the traditions of the world, because the traditions of the world are not revering to Yahweh. So when you do those 3 things, you're going to fight like we talked about as a believer that is unstoppable to the demons. The witches and warlocks can't touch you when you do that. Here's 2 scriptures that'll help you. Think about that. As you build your relationship, remember your identity, John 14:20. This is the best identity verse ever, is I am in you, you're in me, and we are in the Father. And that's Charity shorthand version, right? But go read it. What it's saying is Yeshua got into you, you got into Yeshua, and we got into Yahweh. As I am, so are you. Easy. Super easy identity verse. If Yeshua can do it, you can do it.
That's a good saying. If you can do it, you can do it. I like that.
That's fun. All right. Then I want to read Philippians 2, verses 9 through 11. And we went to the Strongs and, we did our thing in the Strongs and we found the right words to help us, right? Okay. So this is Philippians 2, verses 9 through 11.
Wow. There's not too many black words on that screen. That must be a really powerful scripture. And that's what we found. When we find a really powerful scripture, none of the words remain. Yeah.
It's true. So the words in black are the words from the King James Version of the Bible. The words in green are the proper names. And the words in red are the words that we added in from the Strongs. We took them out. We went to each of the words in the Strongs. We identified what the word was in the Strongs and the root of the word. And then we inserted it in here of what that root word is.
It's pretty impressive because it says, wherefore also is the name every knee the of things is to the. Oh, there's literally no words left in that sentence that are originally in there. That is totally funny. They really don't want you knowing the truth of the scriptures because there's so much power in Yahweh's word.
There is so much power in Yahweh's word.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let me read this so you see how much power there is. Wherefore, Yahweh also has risen Yeshua above and granted cheerfulness to Yeshua's name, authority, and character that is superior to every name, authority, and character. In order that in a position of the name, authority, and character of Yeshua, every knee will bend of things above the sky and worldly things and subterranean things. Also, every language will fully agree that Yeshua HaMashiach is sovereign to the reverence of Yah, the breath.
Wow, that is really spectacular.
I'm almost speechless.
Yeah.
That's a pretty hard thing to do because I like to talk.
Yeah.
This is just a spectacular verse. And I liked Philippians to start with, but now I really like this one.
Yeah.
Because, you know, we hear this quoted as every knee will bow to the name of Jesus, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we don't understand that it's saying so much more than that.
Yes, saying every knee in heaven, earth, and below the earth
Yes.
will
Every
bend
kind of thing.
in every language to the sovereign, which is Yeshua, to the reverence of Yah's breath.
Yah, the breath.
Yeah.
And look at this. Look at this. Every language will fully agree. That means people will, in every language, will be able to understand Yeshua HaMashiach is the sovereign.
Mm-hmm.
And
wow.
That means above everything. Sovereign correlates to Yah himself.
Mm-hmm.
Correlates to Yahweh himself. People try to separate Yeshua from Yahweh. This is not separating them whatsoever. This is putting them together as one. And there's no way the enemy wants you to understand that.
There's no way they want you to understand it. Absolutely none.
Because when you understand that Yahweh and Yeshua are one, and there is no separation from them, and that is what got inside you, you became one with them.
Mm-hmm.
There's no separation between you, and you now have all of Yeshua's name, authority, and character.
That's way better than just name.
Right?
Yes.
When you have Yeshua's name, authority, and character, then every knee will bend above the sky, worldly things, and subterranean.
Yes.
I don't think there was anything left out.
There wasn't.
I don't think there was anything left out. I think that meant everything that has ever been created will bend to Yeshua's name, authority, and character.
Yes. That's what I'm getting out of it.
So if you have in you the name, authority, and character of Yeshua, everything that would speak against that has to bend their knee to you.
Wow. And we do. We've got Yeshua in us and his authority and dominion over this place, his name and character. That's incredible. There's nothing that can stop us.
So what makes demons tremble? You.
You. When you know that, when you know that that Yeshua's in you, they can't stop you.
Exactly. You make the demons tremble.
Yep.
So the whole summation of this entire video is you make the demons tremble. Isn't that great?
That is so great. Yep.
That's like the best summary completely of the entire thing is you make the demons tremble.
Mm-hmm.
Man, like I love stomping on demons.
Yep.
And this just squished them.
Yep.
Like this is like a steamroller over them.
Yep. And now you have the truth.
Yes.
And you can do all of these things that we did and Yeshua did and greater.
Yes. So use the truth. Use Yeshua's name, his authority, his character, and go trample on the serpents and the scorpions. Go step on the heads of the devils and the demons and the evil things and make the witches tremble. Make the warlocks tremble. Make the demons tremble. Kick them out of your life and quit letting them take your ground.
Yep.
Because this is your promised land. And you have the authority to decide what will happen in your life.
Yes, all the witches and warlocks, they are subservient to a defeated foe. He's already been defeated, so why do you worship him?
That is a great ending to our
Yes.
video. The devil is defeated, and you have all the power in your mouth.
So run to the safety of truth, and we'll see you next time.
All right, bye.
Bye.